I cannot believe you're watching this video. Okay, alright. You either didn't watch it and you're just tuning in to hear my thoughts on this. That is such good decision making. Or you've watched the movie. This movie will tear you apart. God, I gotta pop a Zen in for this one. Saltburn, 7 out of 10 IMDb. One of the worst movies I've ever watched, but I think I appreciate it for what it was. Here's why I appreciate it, because I am still thinking about it. I'm literally making a video on it, and I know I'm pushing content on this channel, and that might have a lot to do with it. But right now, forefront of my mind, I had multiple conversations about it, and because it was so toe up. I'm going to try to swear as little as possible, but there's no way that I don't through this. Beginning of the movie. The first scene is him talking about Felix. Felix is guy on top. That's Felix. Okay, so Felix is the rich one. Right off the rip, Oliver is talking about Felix. Oliver's like, I'm not in love with him, but I love him. And there's many scenes of him hooking up with other women. They're talking about his charisma. People love him. They want to be around him all the time. Just drawn to him. That's what the movie's trying to portray that. The first 2 minutes, you see every major scene in this movie and you don't even know it. So that's kind of brilliant picture. Second scene goes into Oxford. You see Oliver walking around Oxford. He's kind of awkward. He doesn't know really how to talk to people, or so you think. He goes into a meeting with his therapist, whoever they consult with, guidance counselor. That's it. You can kind of tell Oliver's a little bit of a nerd. Oliver is one of those guys that, I mean, he read everything on the curriculum, including the King James Bible was on their summer curriculum to read, and the guidance counselor was like, you read that whole thing? A little bit of a nerd, but also it kind of bleeds into his insane mentalities. Early on, I was like, this guy's a little sus. So then the movie progresses. Oliver's entranced with Felix. He wants to hang out with him. So he seizes an opportunity, or so you think. Felix's tire blew on his bike, and he's on the way to a class. He loans him his bike. Immediately, they're kind of connecting. This Felix guy clearly likes to be pursued. And later in the movie, there's a quote in it. He likes his toys and he likes to play with them too. And even when he doesn't like to play with the toys that he used to have, he don't want anyone else to play with them. So he kisses him on the head. He just alphas the fuck out of him. Becomes his possession, which I think, looking back now, Oliver knew that the whole time. He knew how to play the game. Oliver is a sociopath at a minimum. Movie progresses. He goes to the bar. At the bar, he's with his other buddy, and he sees Felix. Felix notices him. He's like, "Oh, you're the dude that loaned me your bike. Hey, come hang out." They end up doing shots all night. They do Jaeger bombs, all the things. They actually tell him, "Oh, yeah, it's your turn to get around. Go to get Jaeger bombs." He plays poor. Oliver plays like he's broke as fuck. To the viewer at the time, you don't know this. You have no idea. He literally goes up to the bar and he's like, can I come back tomorrow and pay you? Okay. So as a viewer at this point in time, you have no idea. Oliver is toe the foog up. Felix seizes the opportunity. Oliver, hindsight or foresight, I guess, he knew that Felix would step in on that because he likes his toys and he likes to play with them. So Felix steps up, gives the bartender whatever money, I don't even know, it's euros or something. It says, "Oh, hey, Oliver, you dropped it." So he plays the hero, and you can tell it. So he gets off to that. He loves being the hero. Buys the shots, takes him back to the table, tells him, "Hey, Oliver got this. Thank Oliver, yada yada yada." So they're clearly bonding, and the theme of this entire first part of the movie is like Oliver wants to foog Felix so bad. Like I was like, this must be what they're talking about. They told me that this is a crazy movie, but it's like that. What happens is he's like hooking up with girls this whole time, Felix is, and then all of a sudden there's going to be some G-word situation. It was clear early. Oliver wants Felix. At least that's what the movie wants you to think. Twists and turns, but like in the weirdest of ways. About 20 minutes in, there's a scene. Some girl came back to their dorm and wanted to be with Felix. But instead, Oliver walks in, she goes up the stairwell, it's like in the main hallway or whatever, and she's like, "Is Felix not coming?" And he was like, no, Felix isn't coming. Is he with so-and-so girl, whoever it was? He's like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Do you have alcohol?" And he was like, "Do you want me to have alcohol?" And he had a fifth of liquor, and I was like, this guy knows exactly what he's doing. Like, he is so calculated, it hurts. It just goes straight to them hooking up. He has a liquor bottle. The first thing she says to him, she goes, "Do you think Felix will be jealous?" And he said he won't even bat an eye at it. And she gets up and walks away. The way the movie was going, the first 20 minutes, you're like, this guy has no game. And then all of a sudden, it was clear in that 2 sentences. it was like, oh, he's on a different mission. If you're him, you say, yeah, he's gonna be so jealous. I mean, that's what you're thinking as a viewer. But that moment, it was like, oh, this dude's dark. So, moving on. He said, I don't think it will even fucking register, word for word. She said, do you think he'll be jealous? And he said, I don't think it'll register. Guy's dark. Next scene, his dad, he finds out, quote unquote, that his father dies. Tells Felix about it. Felix tells him this family ritual or whatever, ends up inviting him to Saltburn. So that's where they're going over the summer. At Saltburn, he goes in the house immediately when he gets there. He walks in, tours the room, tours the house, finds out his room is next to Felix's room. So they have 2 different rooms, share 1 bathroom. He goes and sees the rest of the family that's there. The father, Rosamund Pike is the mother, love her. Felix's sister was there, and she was immediately enthralled by him. And then some random friend. And there's like a theme throughout this where like Felix brings home people, I guess, gets over them and they don't last. I don't know. At first I was thinking like this was some sort of a Get Out situation, like a Jordan Peele movie where like, are they gonna kill this guy? Are they gonna kill Oliver? And I think that's the theme they wanted. It's crazy. Okay, so he meets the rest of the family. Next big scene, I guess, that happens. Oliver, middle of the night, sees Venetia, Felix's sister, sees her out in the yard, just in a nightgown. He goes out there, talks to her. They flirt, whatever. You think, is this gonna happen? And then nothing happens. At the end, she says, you're even more fun than the one he had last year. So it's clearly a trend. So then they go to breakfast. Breakfast is weird. You're just seeing rich people shit. So you're just seeing rich people in their homes. They party all summer, and then we get to the scene where everything turns on its head. 48 minutes into this film. My God. So like I said, Oliver, Felix, 2 different rooms, share 1 bathroom. Oliver, here's Felix. Clearly, you know what I mean. Walks over to the bathroom, looks through the bathroom door, sees Felix in the bathtub. He is going to town, having a moment, having a situation, hanging out with Jill, if you will. Oliver just watches, and so they don't show anything in it, PG, but R, because it's more of like, you know exactly what's going on. The only thing they show is like his ear and like just goosebumps, and you know what happens when you're having a moment. It immediately cuts. Bathtub's draining, brushing teeth. Felix goes to bed. He's like, all right, later, dude. Homie just had one. As the tub is draining, Oliver crawls into the tub and slurps up the remaining water as it's just spiraling, and slurps it up and then proceeds to lick around the drain. What? If it wasn't clear before, psycho. The guy just wanted a taste. This was the moment that I was like, this is what my friends were talking about. This is the scene that they were trolling me about, and I could not have, as a director or writer, whatever. How do you come up with that? Drinks the last of the bathwater because Felix had a moment. Next scene, same thing. 2 a.m. in the morning, Felix's sister goes outside. She's back out by his window, only in a nightgown. He goes outside. He's got all the confidence in the world right now. Dude's licking bathtub drains. Proceeds to hit on her, do a little handsy. She tells him it's not that time of the month, meaning she can't kiss. He responds, good thing I'm a vampire. And you can imagine how the rest of the scene plays out. Next scene, cut to it. He's in the bathtub. The bathtub is the color of my hoodie. Crazy. Okay, so I mean, you're just seeing scene. Psycho. He's making his way through the room, through the whole family. Next scene, Farley, the friend that's there, saw it happen, tells Felix, hey, dude was going to Munchtown on your sis. Felix, pissed, talks to Oliver about it. Oliver says, nah, I mean, dude's gaslighting, dude's lying. The very next scene, goes into the dude's room, helps him have a moment. I mean, completely doms him in this situation. So at this point, I'm like, what am I watching? This guy is making his way through the family. This is when it gets nutty, I guess, so the viewers are already toe up about what's going on. This is when Felix and the characters start to get light. An hour and 20 in, from a 48-minute mark, the bathtub scene, to hour 20. Holy Oliver. Then the characters get in on it. So the reason they get in on it is because Felix surprises Oliver and says, hey, we're gonna go see your mother. She's been calling. I saw your phone. We're gonna go see her. He says, no, we shouldn't go there. At that point, as a viewer, you're like, yeah, dude's lying. Dude is crazy. And they show up. Felix is like, I don't care. We're going. So they show up, and Dad's alive. So at that point, he's just written him out. He's like, fuck this guy. totally over him. Then they end up throwing this massive party. Everyone's getting toe up, doing a bunch of cocaine. Oliver follows Felix out to a field, out to the maze that the family just has a maze in their field. Like next morning, next scene, wakes up. Everyone in the house is screaming, runs out. They're looking for Felix. They can't find Felix. Finally, the Rosamund Pike mom goes out to the field, screams. The maze. She sees him in the maze, dead. Everyone mourns his death. Felix is gone. They all go to lunch, and it is a weird lunch. Oliver's totally fine with it. The rest of them are freaking out. His sister is pouring wine and spills her cup, all the things. Kind of dogs on the friend, is like, hey, like, you should just get out of here. Then an hour 45 in, they've already buried his body. Oliver goes out to the grave. Oliver's standing at the grave. There's some sort of religious prayer going on in the background. Drops his pants, has his way with the dirt above his body. I mean, crazy. Then he ends up talking to Felix's sisters. Felix's sister's like, oh, actually, this is insane that you care this much. You just met him. Next scene, she's dead in the bathtub. Blood everywhere. Looks like she slit her wrists. Dad, finally, 2 kids dead, offers Oliver money. Oliver is like, I don't want money. And Dad's like, name your price. You take my money and you get the foog out of here. I guess he does it. I don't know. He seems pretty well off later. Bang. We're like 10 years ahead in the future. Rosamund Pike sees him. Bang. Another 20 years in the future. And she is on her deathbed, fully intubated. And that's when Oliver tells her everything. It was like, yeah, and it basically was just like, I like seeing you suffer. I like seeing people who have everything suffer. He tells him that he killed both the kids. He poisoned Felix in the field. He actually put some shit in his liquor bottle and drank with him, but then left him with the bottle. Felix drank more of it, was upset about their fight, died. Oliver goes off to the side, pukes, he's fine. So, kills Felix. Then that scene where she's, dead in the tub, D and the T, showed that he brought the blades in there and offed her while she was enjoying a bath. Rosamund Pike scene, years down the road. He is in the room with her. She's fully intubated. Not well. No one else is around. Clearly everyone's dead. It's just him and her. Saltburn. Tells her everything. Crawls on top of her. Rips her tube out. 3-4 feet long. Just rips it right out of her. And just sits on top of her while she dies. After she dies, throws her arms around him, looking for a hug. Final scene in the movie. This mofo is dancing, bare ass naked, all around the Saltburn household. You see it all. If you like seeing a little flop, this is the movie for you. This movie was what? There you have it. I hope you didn't watch it. I hope you never watch it. Thank you for joining After Hours. Extra After Hours this weekend. Like and subscribe. I love you. Proud of you. Peace.